What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to bring you a quick review of this is the Gravely Pro Turn ZX. These are not normally the type of videos I do, but this is a mower I purchased about a year ago, so I've had it about a year. Has a little over 50 hours on it, so I wanted to get a review up to hopefully maybe help some people out. So, a little background. Previously had a John Deere Z540R, which is basically John Deere's highest end residential zero-turn mower. This is more of Gravely's lower-end commercial mowers, and I currently live on about a half an acre, so about a half an acre of grass, and I cut 3 commercial properties and a couple rental properties of a company that we've been cutting for years. So I generally use this for about 100 hours a year, sometimes 150, depending on if I have to pick up some other people's jobs. So I purchased it for about $6,800 during Gravely's March. Basically for a week they have 15 to 18% off. It retails for like $8,300, but I paid $6,800. We have a couple very good John Deere dealerships in our area, so I'm pretty good when it comes to having luck when it comes to the sales department. They're all pretty good. They give really good trade-in value. And the reason why I got this is because I basically tore the deck up on my residential zero turn. It just wasn't up to the job. I cut a few concrete companies' plants, and the terrain there isn't the best, so I need something a little bit more beefy. So I kind of go through some of the things I like, I don't like, a few of the specs on it. So this has 52-inch deck. You can get it with 48 and a 60-inch, depending on what you need. Kind of wish I would have got the 60-inch, but that's a different story for a different topic. It comes with a Kawasaki motor. I believe this is one of the cheapest ones you can get with the Kawasaki. This is a 2-stage air mower, so sorry for the neighbor's dogs. They bark all the time. So it's the FX691V, which is basically on everything up to the 52-inch. I don't think they use it on the 60-inch. I think you got to get the 730V for that. But it is a 2-stage mower. Basically, it's a little bit beefier version of the, I think it's the S series is their previous. So you got a 2-stage air system here. The horsepower is not as much as my Kawasaki motor on my residential, but this is a more industrial mower versus that, so you got to take that into account. You do have the let's see, what are they called, hydro gears. They are the 3200, which basically means it goes about 8.5 miles per hour. That's the top speed of this. If you get the Pro Turn 100 series, which I previously was looking at, that goes up to 10 miles per hour. 5-gallon gas tank. Remote start, or not remote start, regular starter. That's really it. This mower does come with basically a semi cushion seat, semi suspension seat. You can upgrade to a more suspension seat, but it does bounce up and down. You can't see it there, but it does bounce up and down as you're riding it. So I'm gonna get to the good stuff first. So the first thing is that this thing is built like a tank. It's really a solid machine. The deck is really heavy. It's really something that when I first was looking at this, I could just tell that it was just a way more industrial, more prone to not falling apart when I'm using it. So that was my main issue with my residential John Deere, is that the deck just did not do well with getting any type of beating or anything on it. The other thing is that the ride is really good on this. You do have, like I said, the semi-suspension seat. You can get the full suspension seat if you want, and you have these little, I'm not really even sure I'll be able to show you, but there's these little teeny tiny bumpers here, so you do have a little bit of cushion there. It just seems like a more comfortable ride versus my John Deere's Z540R. Get bigger tires in the back, bigger tires in the front, so you do have a little bit there. You do get the anti-roll bar, which I don't use, but if you are on a place where it's a little bit unsafe, that is a really good feature. And you get the beefier, the more industrial motor. So that's some things that I really like about this. Let's go over here. So this is a neat feature. Previously on my John Deere, I had to cut a hole in this and use like a tie down, but this goes up and down really easily, so that's a good feature. You can get a mulch kit for this, so you can do mulching basically where it discharges in the rear and it doesn't come out the side there. It's about $300, so it's a little bit pricey, but I think it's well worth it in the long run. Another plus about this is that the deck adjustment is really easy. It's really easy to work on, so you can adjust it here. The Pro Turn 100 series actually has it on the side. It's a little more difficult, and it's just easy access. Change the belt if you need to do that. You can get to it right there. The battery's kind of hidden under the seat there. Probably can't see that because of the light. Basically, the oil filter and the oil you can get at Lowe's. You don't have to go to a special John Deere dealership or some type of dealership that deals with Gravely. Same thing with air filter and here. And the maintenance is pretty light on this. You don't have to change air filters for 250 hours, or at least that's what the manual says. I will probably change the oil at least every 40 to 50 hours. Oil and oil filters are cheap, and that's really what's going to keep your mower running for a long time. Same thing with fuel filter and spark plugs. Those aren't that expensive, and you can order them straight from Gravely. All their parts online ordering is really good. I just ordered new blades for this, and they were about, I think, around $64 for all three. So it's a pretty easy mower to get into and be able to it's not going to cost you a fortune to get parts for. The mulching kit is kind of expensive, and if you want the tires that I think it's the tweed tires where they don't have any air in them, those are kind of expensive, like $1,000. They're a really expensive upgrade if you wanted to go that line. It's really efficient. Don't use a lot of gas with this. Generally, I can cut all my properties without filling it up. It's a little close if I have to cut my house too and all the properties, but with the 5-gallon tank, I found that I don't have to fill it up as much as my John Deere, where it just ate through fuel because it had that a little bit downsized motor. I believe it's the F series or the FS series instead of the FX. I'll have to look that up, but so that's something too that I really like. And you have your roll bar, which I've already mentioned, but you do have these arms here also, and a seat. So if you're cutting on a place where you think you may be in a little bit of trouble, you can be safe. It's easy to get the maintenance on this, so you can easily take that off. There's little things you can take off there. It's a solid machine. You can tell that it's really well built. It's disgusting right now because it's springtime, and I just cut about 4 hours on it, so this is what it's going to look like. So now let's go to some of the negatives. So the first thing is that nearly every bolt on this needed tightened after about 8 hours. So these all were loose. This was loose here. There's these little teeny tiny bolts underneath the seat, so the seat was falling off. You probably can't see them, but I had to buy a special Allen wrench basically to get in there and put the screws back on, and that was kind of a pain. So it really, and I had to retorque the wheels. They were pretty loose, so just keep that in mind. My John Deere never had any issues with anything like that. So that was probably my biggest. Just make sure you tighten everything up after 4, 5, 6, 8 hours of using it. The second negative is that it only goes on sale once a year. So I would not pay over $600-$800 for it. Even if it's a time where it's not on sale, I would just say this is the price I'm going to pay. And if not, wait till Gravely does their yearly sale. The gas tank. So this is more of a personal thing, but I could use a bigger gas tank just because there is those times where I would like to not have to fill it up. If I had like a 10-gallon, the Pro Turn 100 series has a 10-gallon tank. Basically has 2 tanks, one on each side. That'd be a nice feature to have. The other thing, this is comparing to my John Deere, it had a massive compartment over here where it had all kinds of storage area. There was probably 10 times as much storage on that mower than this, so that was something I liked. You don't always need that, but if you were, let's say someone was dropping you off and you were going to cut for a whole day, and you wanted to put your lunch in there, or just, it had a whole entire bin there where you could put all your stuff at. So those are really my only negatives with this thing, is that Has a few quirks to it. It cuts great, it runs great, doesn't use a ton of fuel. It's very comfortable to ride. I cut in some pretty rough areas. They're fairly small, but they can be a little bit cumbersome and not the best terrain, and it does really well with that. Never got it stuck. As you can tell, it's been pretty muddy here. It's just that time of year in Ohio, but I've never got it stuck. Actually, I've never got any zero turn stuck. The only thing I've got stuck is one of our big riding mowers, but that was a long time ago. It's just a heavy mower. And the parts are really cheap for it. I was just shocked at how easy it was to just order things straight through Gravely. I think they just ship it through a local dealer. At least most of my parts have been coming from Indiana. So that's something to take into account. But that's really it. Love the mower so far. The John Deere dealership in our area is really good with trade-in values. So it's basically the Koenig in Lebanon, Ohio, which is a really good dealership for sales department. Their parts department isn't very good, but I really have had good luck with their sales department. Really easy to deal with. So that's it. If you have any comments, questions, leave them below. This is not a video I usually make, but I just thought I would throw it out. It's kind of windy out here, but it's pretty nice out. While the little one's sleeping, I thought I'd just get a quick video of it up, that we just got done using it. So that's it. Have a good rest of the day, weekend, whatever is out there, and I'll see you guys next time.